On Osrc News at 7, Ondo State government sets machinery in motion for waterways channelization in Akure. Ondo Assembly confirms appointment of Ayodeji Akipolie as Judicial Service Commission member. Federal Executive Council approves 92.12 billion naira for second Abuja Airport runway. And from the foreign scene, human rights watchers accuse Uganda's government of abuses. Good evening and thank you for joining us on the news tonight. I am Timileyin Falade. The Ondo State government is set to commence channelization of waterways and clearing of drains in Akure metropolis to avert flooding during the rainy season. Commissioner for Environment Sunday Akinwalire, during an inspection tour of some flood-prone areas in the Ondo State capital, also charged residents on effective waste management. Our reporter Joy Pius has details.
Flooding has remained a challenge in most parts of the country, including Ondo State, and one of the reasons responsible for flooding is limited capacity of drainage system, blockage of waterways, and drains.
Kanai, to di dasiko jo, o mo affect many houses. Even church wa nbe gan omi to ti kun, kedu ni kanamo. Streets. Some house they say people don't run come out for the house because of this way they don't spoil their property for how you know. Gbogbo adan gbe adugbo yi láti nbẹ̀rù pé òjò ti fẹ́ dé báyìí tójò bá rẹ̀ ti dé á disturb wa dandan nìyẹn. Last year ẹnìkan kú síbẹ̀ yẹn omi ló pa síbẹ̀.
Ahead the raining season expected to commence fully soon and the need to put an end to flooding challenge in the state. Ondo State Commissioner for Environment, Mr. Sunday Akinwalire, led staff of the ministry on an assessment tour of major water channels in Akure metropolis. The commissioner, while assessing the canals, stated that the present administration is taking proactive measures to combat flood disasters and provide conducive environment for the citizenry.
We thank God for the kind of governor of the state that we have, in person of Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Odunyakredesian. He has provided the logistics. He has bought another 2 amphibian excavators to add to the one we have before, so making 3 now in the states. The idea is to deploy the 3 excavators to the 3 senatorial districts to make sure that we combat flooding this year.
The commissioner and his team also sought the cooperation of residents to end incidences of flooding and desist from dumping in waterways to allow free flow of water.
The consequences will be borne by the residents. By the time the flood comes, it will enter into people's houses, shops, and destroy property, and sometimes even human life. This we do not want.
To also complement the effort of government by make sure we do the needful. Let us make sure we stop indiscriminate waste disposal. Let us stop illegal blockage of river courses. Let us also inform the market women that they should dispose of their waste the way they should do.
The channelization is expected to kick off in 2 weeks' time. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
And still on combating environmental hazards, residents of Ondo State have been tasked to prioritize safety protocols such as switching off home appliances and other equipment to prevent fire outbreaks. The Ondo State chapter of the National Youth Council of Nigeria drummed this message at its sensitization campaign tagged 500 Youth Walk Against Fire Outbreak, held in Akure, the state capital. Sahid Aribisala reports that residents were also enjoined to shun illegal dumping of refuse on waterways to prevent flooding.
According to data from the Ministry of Interior, properties worth 3 trillion naira were lost to fire incidents across Nigeria in year 2021, claiming no fewer than 136 lives. To drive home the need to imbibe safety protocols, the Ondo State chapter of National Youth Council of Nigeria, with members across the 18 local government areas of the state, embarked on the sensitization campaign tagged 500 Youth Work Against Fire Outbreak. The chairman, Osrc Media Group, Mr. Kunle Adebayo, represented by the Deputy Director of Programs, Mr. Yomi Ogunye, also joined the youth on the awareness train. The youth moved through strategic roads within Accra metropolis, stopping at landmark locations to spread the gospel of safety to prevent fire outbreaks. Representing the council chairman, Buhari Shitu, Mr. Benga James said the initiative is to improve the awareness to safety protocols among residents.
This fire outbreak are the cause. The major cause of fire outbreak, when leaving our homes, we must ensure that all our electronics, all our electrical appliances are put off. We must ensure our fans, our generator, everything is put off before leaving our various homes for our daily duties. And secondly, in terms of gas, most especially gas dispensers, we are encouraging them on the use of fire extinguisher.
While it's not just fire that is wreaking havoc, flooding has also subjected many homes and businesses to suffering. Hence the team's advice to residents on effective waste management.
We've seen that a lot of people are really encouraged and they are motivated. They are really happy because a lot of people, they see that the youth are coming up and to be aware of what to do and the needful to be done at necessary time.
The Osrc Media Group Chief Executive, in his charge to the youth, tasked them to remain reliable partners in the quest to better society.
They have done a very good thing by coming out to sensitize the public on these issues. It is germane because many people indulge in these bad habits. And when they come out in this manner to tell the people what to do, the best thing we can do is to encourage them.
Some residents who were swayed by the effort of the youth commended them for trying to change the narrative of youth restiveness in society.
They tell the community what they saw that is not good, most especially in the area of littering of our gutter during rainy season by our women and our people. So what I saw is very important that they discuss about.
The National Youth Council of Nigeria in Ondo State says it will not renege effort to enlighten residents on actions for a progressive society. Sahid Aribisala, Osrc News.
Ondo State House of Assembly has confirmed the appointment of Ayodeji Akinkolye as member of the Ondo State Judicial Service Commission. The confirmation was sequel to a report of the selection committee presented at the floor of the House at plenary. Presented the report, the Vice Chairman of the Selection Committee, Samuel Aderoboye, said Akinkolye Ayodeji was carefully scrutinized and found qualified for the job. The Speaker, Bamidele Oleyelogun, upon the unanimous decision of the House, wrote the confirmation of his appointment. While appreciating the lawmakers for their work last year, Mr. Oleyelogun recalled that the House recorded a huge success in its activities, particularly in the number of bills passed, and encouraged the lawmakers to pass bills that will better the society this year. Now to electoral matters. Lawmakers in the Senate and House of Representatives have resolved to appeal judgments which directed the Attorney General of the Federation, AGF, to delete Section 84, subsection 12 of the newly signed Electoral Act. This followed a deliberation on the court order during plenary in both chambers of the National Assembly. The lawmakers in their resolution agreed to appeal the judgment to set aside the decision of the court. They insisted that the court passed a judgment on a matter which was not included in the Electoral Act passed by the National Assembly. President Muhammadu Buhari assented to the Electoral Act 2022 on February 25, following a series of attempts by the National Assembly to amend the nation's electoral laws. He had objected to the provisions of Section 84, subsection 12, noting that the section constitutes a disenfranchisement of 7 political office holders from voting or being voted for at conventions or congresses of any political party. Now, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, says the deletion of Section 84, subsection 12 of the Electoral Act 2022 is still a work in progress and is being considered as such. He said this while fielding questions after the weekly Federal Executive Council meeting. According to him, while the possibility of appeal is not in doubt, the Law Reform Commission responsible for the codification and gazetting of the laws are collaborating with the Office of the Attorney General to ensure that any addition made to the law is in line with the provisions of the law. Now, women groups protesting against the rejection of gender bills by the National Assembly have suspended their protest. This was after the House of Representatives promised to review and revisit the bills. The majority leader assured them that the House is working on their demands and appealed that the House would, within 9 working days, conclude work on the matter. Women under various groups for weeks have been protesting at the National Assembly gate, demanding that lawmakers rescind their decision over rejection of 5 gender bills in the process of amendment of 1999 Constitution. Dogara vacant, following its defection to the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC). Dogara was in 2019 re-elected on the platform of the PDP to represent Das Tafawa Balewa and Bugoro Federal Constituency of Bauchi State at the National Assembly, but defected to the APC in 2020 after he submitted a resignation letter to the PDP. Dissatisfied with his action, the PDP and its Bauchi State Chairman Hamza Akuyam, through their team of lawyers led by Chief Chris Uche, SEN, approached the court to declare his seat vacant. In the suit,